everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this session I will explain you lab number 5. So in this lab we will learn how to create audit log, that means the history of the file, and assign the validation in a SSIS. So for that we are using the SQL script. So for this practical we will conducting for basically for the tracking to load file detail, and secondly we can validate the file. So in a previous lab we will see that how we can how to load multiple Excel file into the database system using the SSIS package. So in the last session, we will see that there are multiple Excel file into the one of the folder, and we will load those file into the database system. So if you are not aware that, we can refer the lab number 4, the lecture. So we will continue this lab for the next session. So that is the lab number 5. So in this lab number 5 we will check that how we can create a audit log. Okay, so if you are loading the multiple file, then we need to audit the log, means how many file loaded, then which type of file, how many records in that file. So this is for the admin purpose, and as per our project requirement we will also check that the admin team want that how many file loaded, and if the file not loaded, then they can rerun that SSIS package. So basically in this session I will we will use data flow task, Excel source, then OLEDB destination, flat file destination, for each loop container, and additionally we will use execute SQL task, row count transformation. So basically if you check the overview, so basically this is a multiple Excel file that for the same package we will continue for the next. Okay, so basically I will open my SSMS and my Visual Studio, then we will start for the session. The previous SSIS package that we built for the loading for the multiple Excel file. So same package we will move for the auditing and validating the files. Okay, so basically if you check in this the package, we will take the Excel source and OLDB destination, and we have the multiple Excel file into input folder. Input in this folder we will load one by one all Excel file, but the as per the requirement in lab number 5. So we will track the records. Okay, so basically how many files we loaded, then how many records, how many number of records in that file. So basically this is a template that I will show you. So basically we need to capture the package name, then the file loaded, if the file loaded, then the file name, then how many record in that file, and when the this file loaded. Okay, so this is a track record for the auditing purpose. And second thing, for example uh, in this in this folder there are multiple Excel file. Okay, so for example if by mistakenly package run, then this file not loaded again. Okay, so for example we load all the 4 files, and if we run the package again, then again this all the file loaded into the database system. But for the avoiding that, if the file already loaded, then we will not load that file into the database system. So for that we are using the validation for the inner SSIS package. So we will check how we can use that validation. So first of all we will check for the audit log. So basically for that we will use a SQL script. So I have already created this table. So basically this table useful for the creating the audit log. So if you check in the audit log, so basically this is a script for the creating the table. So create table audit log, and this is the ID column, this is the identity, then the package name, then the file loaded. So basically in this we will store the file path and the records inserted. So for example in that Excel file how many record is there, so we will check the count for that, and we will insert into the this this table, then dated when the file was loaded. So this is a table, so I will execute this table. So now table was executed, and for the insert we need to write an insert statement. So we'll write a insert into, so table name is this one, then we will select. So ID is the identity, so we will not provide anything but package name. So for that we will use a package name. So this is a string type, so dot dtsx. Then the next one is the file loaded, so this is also string type, so we will use file path. Then the next one is a record inserted, so initially we will put as 0 comma then a dated. So for that we will use a get date. So this is a system defined date, so it will be give the whatever the date, the current date and time. Okay, so this is the insert statement, so we'll copy this insert statement and we'll come into the our SSIS. It will take the execute SQL task, so we'll drag and drop this SQL task. So and we will build this SQL task. So I will connect this SQL task and I will rename it as a auditing the file. Okay, so before that in a data flow task we need to create one more variable for the counting the records loaded. So for that we will we will create one variable. So I will provide the name record inserted, and this is an integer and initially value is a 0. So I will save this and close this. Okay, so I will go to the data flow task and I will delete this one. So basically whenever the Excel file load, so for that time we will count the how many record in that Excel file. So for that we will use a row count transformation. So this is a row count, I will drag and drop this one. So basically row count transformation useful for the counting the number of records in that file. So whenever the file this file loaded, so it will be count the how many records will be loaded and it into the OLED destination. So before that we will count this one into the variable. So I will connect this one and I will go to the edit, and into that variable I will use for the record inserted. So whatever the records inserted, that the value will be stored into the this variable, and this variable value we will use in a auditing. So I will connect to the OLED destination and then I will go to the control flow and I will go to the edit audit log. So for that we will use a connection. So basically connection we will use as a this is a we have already created for the SSIS. So this is my database name and source type is a direct input. So now I will use for the expression. So I will go to the expression property SQL statement source, because of we are directly using the SQL command. So for that we will use the SQL statement source, and in the expression I will click on the three dot. Then it will be go for the expression builder. So here I will paste my query in the expression form. So first of all I will double comma, then I will paste my query, and after that I will use the double comma. Then in this in between that the insert into the audit log, then select. So for the instead of the package name we will directly take the package name from this system variable. So for that first of all I will select this package name up to this single quote. So in that I will first of all use a double quote, and in between so double quote plus double quote. So whenever we need to insert the string, then we will use the single quote, after that double quote, and in between the plus sign is the concatenate for the string. So the package name I will in a system dot package name, so I will directly drag and drop this package name. So basically SSIS, this variable will be store the package name, whatever the we given the package name, it will be stored in this variable. So second is the file path. So basically for the file path we have also created one variable. So I will delete initially this one, then double quote, plus plus, and then double quote. So we have the file path. So this variable we already created, and this variable store the file path. So the file path means for the Excel, the path and Excel file name as well. So I will copy this one and paste into the in between the plus sign. So then we will evaluate the expression. So after the evaluate the expression, we can check the whatever the value it will be. So we need to check the file like auditing, validating. Then this is the path for that file, and in a last. So next one is a zero. So basically records inserted. So basically uh, we need to insert this value. So for that, this is the integer type. So first of all we will double quote, and in between plus plus. So in between that we will place this record inserted. Okay, so I will drag and drop this one and paste here. So we need to paste in between the plus sign. So now this is a this variable is a integer, so we need to typecast it, because of we need to store the string. So basically for that we need to typecast this value into the string type. So for that we will use a dt underscore wstr. So I will drag and drop this one to the dt underscore wstr. So for that we need to specify the length. So I will specify the length as a 15. So now I will evaluate the expression. So now this expression working fine. So if we check insert into the this database, this table name, then the value is a first of all is a package name, then second is the file path. So in that file path we need to check this Excel file, and then the number of record as of now it will be showing 0, but when we execute the actual package then it will be showing the number of record, whatever the number of record that was inserted. So now I will click on OK, click on OK, click on OK. So now the my configuration for the auditing log it will be done. So now I will run this SSIS package for the check it will be working fine or not. So I will click on the start. So now package will be start for the execution. So I will show you the number of Excel. It will first 11 row, second, third, and fourth file will be loaded. So now I will stop this execution, and now we will check the data for that, and we will check also the data that will be imported into the table or not. So first of all I will check the table. So dump orders. So basically in this table we have loaded the 44 rows. Okay, then now we will check the audit log table. So basically in this audit log table we have captured how many files will be loaded. So basically we can check this is the 4 file will be loaded into the audit log file. So for the audit for the package name, then files loaded. If we check the files name, then how many records will be loaded and date and time. So this way we can auditing the how many files will be loaded into the database system, and this way we can track the number of file will be loaded, how many number of file not loaded, like that one. So now second thing, so now for the validation. So as of now we loaded all the file, but by mistakenly if we run the SSIS package or this package run the twice, then it will be trouble because of we have not add any validation for the loading the file. So for example this file already loaded, but if we run this package again, then this file might be load. So I will show you. I have rerun the SSIS package, then we will start. we will check the files loaded or not. So now it will be start for the loading the file, and if you check the 11 row, then next 11 row, then next 11 row, it will be loaded. So I will stop this SSIS package and I will rerun this dump table. So now previously it was the 44, the now the count is the double. That means ki data will be duplicate the loaded. Means that means ki files loaded again. So if you check the audit log, then we will. So if you check, so from the from this part to this part, all the file loaded twice. Okay. So we need to track that key. We need to check that, and we also add the validation part. For example, this file load previously, then the same file not load again. So for that we will implement the auditing. Then for the auditing as well as we need to add the validation. So how we can add the validation, that we will be seeing in the next section. For the validation, so basically in previously I will explain you how we can validate the data. So basically if the file already exists, then this file will be not loaded once again. So for that we need to add the validation. So for that, basically first of all we need to create one table. So basically this is the table. So files loaded, and this is for the validation purpose. So if the data is available in this table, then that file not loaded. So if we check, so create table. So basically this is a table, files loaded. Into that, id is the integer and it is the identity, then package name. So basically we are storing the package name, then the file loaded. So basically in this we will store the file path and date time. So when the record will inserted in this table. So basically we will create this table. So this table basically we will refer this table for the, if the file the record is exist in this table, then those file not load into the database system once again. So for that, first of all we will write an insert statement. Insert into, so this is the table name, then select. So basically we need to provide the value. So first value is the package name, so package. Then second value is the files loaded, for that we will use the file path. And third value is the dated. So for that we will use the get date function. We'll copy this one and we'll come to the SSIS interface. So now we'll go to the auditing. So whenever the auditing done, that the same time it will be data will be inserted into the validation part also. So if the data is exist in this two table, the files loaded, then the same the table will refer for the auditing purpose, for the validation purpose. So first of all we will insert the data in auditing as well as into the files loaded. So for that we will go to the auditing, then we'll go for the expression. This expression will go for the expression that we will use for the auditing. So same in that same expression we will insert statement for the files loaded. So after the double quote we will use go keyword, then we'll put this insert statement. Insert into the files loaded. So the instead of the package name, so we will directly take the package name from the system variable. So for that, double quote plus plus double quote, and in between the plus sign we'll use the package name. So the package name we'll take from the system variable. So we'll go for the system variable, and where we can find the package name. So we'll drag and drop this package name into the in between the plus sign. So after that, the file path. So basically file path also we have also the another variable. So first of all we'll use a double quote, then plus plus double quote, and the variable that already we have created as a file path. So we drag and drop this variable into the this bit in between the plus sign. Then we will evaluate the expression. So now the both insert statement will they evaluate successfully. Then we will click on OK. So now we are inserted the record for the files loaded. Then the first thing that key, before the loading the data, we will check that that file loaded or not previously. So initially we'll define the validation. So for that, first of all, we will initially before the data flow task, we will check the validation part. So for that, we will use execute SQL task. So basically this execute SQL task will check the files loaded or not. So I will connect this to the this one. So simple, we will add the select statement. Select count start from. So this is the table name where package name equal to some package name and the files loaded. So for example, this the count greater than 0, then that means the file is already loaded, and if the file count is it will be 0, then this file not loaded. So basically we simple the check the count from this table. So if the record is exists, that means the data will already loaded into the that file into the database system. So based on this statement, we will check the validation. So I will copy this one and go to the expression. So I will rename it. So I will use the name get number of files loaded. Then I will right click on it, go to the edit, then connection. So I will select the connection. Then I will go for the expression. In that expression we need to put the expression. So select SQL statement source, and after that we need to create a expression. So I will put a double quote, and after that the select statement and double quote. So select count from the files loaded where the package name. So for the package name we will use double quote plus plus double quote, and we are already packaged in a system variable. We will use directly package name. So I will copy the package name and paste here. Then files loaded. So basically before the files loaded, so we will use double quote plus plus double quote, and in between the files loaded. So basically we are storing the file path. In this file path we have the Excel file name. So based on this, if the file path is already exist, then we will will not load those Excel file. I will drag and drop this file path. So now we'll evaluate the expression evaluate fine. Then I will click on OK. So we need one variable that for the checking for the files loaded or not. So for that we will create one variable. So variable name number of file loaded. So it will be integer type and initially value is the 0. So I will create number of files loaded. So and I will save this one. I will close this. Then I will go to the again into the get number of file loaded. This execute SQL task. Go to the edit. Then result set. Sorry, in a general result set. it will be single row. Then the set we need to add. So initially we'll put as a 0, and in a variable name we'll check the number of files loaded. Then click on OK. So then this is the precedent constraint. So basically once the we are getting the files loaded or not, so that single row we will click on the precedent constraint, click on the double dot, and then go to the edit. So then we will use the expression and constraint, then single, then in expression we'll use number of file loaded, double, we'll drag and drop the number of file loaded, it will be double equal to 0, we'll evaluate. So basically if the number of file loaded, it will be double equal to 0, then it will be go for the next, otherwise it will be stop here. So for that we will use in a precedent constraint we will put the condition. So I will click on OK. Our package will ready for the testing. So I will save and I will execute the query. So as of now, if you check, we have the data in a audit log. I will truncate the audit log and truncate this data as well, and select star from files loaded. So as of now the data is empty. This is the empty, and this table also the empty. So now I will rerun the SSIS package and will check the output. So I will click on the start. So now the file will loaded. In the data flow task, if we check, the number of record will inserted. So now package will completed. Then we'll stop this one, and now we'll come to the SSMS and we'll check the data. So in a data dump folders, it will be 44 row. Then audit log, it will be 4 files loaded, and also the in a files loaded, it will be 4 files. So if I rerun the SSIS package, then now we can check the validation part. So if I execute this package again, then this time the files not loaded into the database system that which can check in previously. So I will rerun this SSIS package and will check how the data will inserted or not. So the package start for the debugging. So now if we check, the only two tasks will executed. If we check the for each loop container, after that the it will be cursor, it will be go for this one, and here it will be check that key, it will be check the expression, the files will loaded, then it will be show the row count greater than 0, then package stop here because of we add the precedent constraint here. So this precedent constraint basically in this precedent constraint, if you check, we added so expression and constraint, and in this we give the expression like that key number of file loaded equal to 0, then this will be go for the next, otherwise if it will be not 0, then it will be stop the execution from here. So due to this precedent constraint, the package will not move for the further process, then it will stop here. So I hope you understood this one. So this way we can create audit log and validate the SSIS package. I have provided all the create table and the audit log file sample, and that the session in this video, so you can refer that one. For the thank you for the watching this video, and if you have any query you can mention in a comment box.